Oh, this is Max Level EDC, and this is my, well, this is how I interpret a key organizer, if you will. One of the cool things about the Multiforce by Ozark Trail is that the plier and the space between the frames is quite a bit bigger. In fact, it's enough that you can put a fourth key in, where on something like the Wave, you can only fit 3 keys in this slot. So I was able to fit 4 keys along with some implements from, well, this is actually from a Leatherman core because it has a slightly longer nail nick. That's the only difference between it and the normal flat driver, which I've now modified to a chisel or pry tool, if you will, along with the bit driver, which is pretty cool. So all that slides in. So let's get this back in there. Now you can see it kind of becomes a little bit snugger. I don't know, more snug, not snugger, but it seems to be holding itself in, even though it's loose once you rotate them out, which is interesting. I'm not sure if I caused that or if that's normal, but it's a nice benefit. I still have my diamond file / crosscut file. This is from the Multiforce as well. I still use the diamond file. I don't think I ever really used the third side of this saw, and it's not very good on the Multiforce, but the other two seem to work just fine. But the diamond file is what I really want. Now, what the cool thing I think is this. This is a normal Victorinox scissor. Comes in a Swiss card, but you can buy them separately for as little as like $4 or $5. So they are very inexpensive accessories that you can use to replace a scissor component. Now, it's going to be a better scissor than anything that Leatherman makes for that size range. And the fact that it can be taken off and then reused is pretty awesome. The other thing I found that was really cool is if I slide it up, like you see here, not only does it keep it from deploying, which now it can't, but now instead of one lanyard, I now have 2, one on either side. I can use this, or I can use this. And if something is hooked into this, I can't necessarily easily open the scissor, but I can always flip it around, and then it actually is, there's just enough space for it to lock in place, and it goes about that far. That's what you're looking at here. Not a lot of movement, so it still quote-unquote locks in there, which is pretty nice, and there's enough friction that the spring can be pushed down, so when you can actually store it without it sticking up and getting caught, which is perfect. And even better if you have it pulled out like this. This is not, now it's really recessed, you see, and you're going to have a hard time actually accidentally deploying this scissor. So this is really cool. Now, if you were to use the other side, which has a pocket clip, you could potentially do more. Now, I have a lot of different components. This is a Leatherman Blast pivot. This is from a rebar. This is from a Surge. This is from a Leatherman core. But you could just as easily put their full 3-dimensional hex driver in here. Okay, you could put their scissor and so on and so forth. So you can use the pivots and all of the components that are part of the Multiforce to build yours. So this would give you maybe even a better option for a pocket knife than you would have had otherwise. So instead of having 2 sides with components, instead one of them is filled up with 4 keys. So you can have your flip out blade, you can have your saw or file, and then you can have one of the 2 sides that normally comes in the Multiforce, and you could be good to go. So that's pretty darn cool. And I gotta say, the really big surprise here is that because this frame goes all the way around and connects to where the pivot is, this is what allows this to hold in place and be secure. So what I'm thinking is it's possible that this would also work on the Leatherman Charge or Charge ALX or any of those varieties. So I'll have to try that in the future, but for now, I'm liking that so far. Very, very cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoy, guys, and maybe you'll give this a shot for yourself. And if you do, you're going to need either a T15 or T17 for this. and then you're going to need a T9 or a T8 for this. The T8 is a little bit on the looser side, but you just have to take your time to get them unscrewed. So I hope you enjoy this little video today, and yeah, this might give you some inspiration on something else you can do. And for the price of a titanium key bar, you get all of the functionalities that built in the Multi-Force and can be used for your keys. It's going to be a little heavier than the key bar, but is certainly a cool version of it. So you guys have a good one, and like and subscribe if you like this video, please. Yeah, and stay tuned because I'm going to have a lot more projects in the future, 3D printing, etc. So enjoy.